Hello. All right, so today we're going to look at how to create a skeleton in Motive using the OptiTrack system. So this room is all calibrated. Let's take a look at Motive real quick, and then we'll go into markering. So as you can see, we're in the build setting. So you can locate that at the top. You see the square with the three dots making a triangle is the build setting. So right next to the calibration setting, build setting, and then you got the capture and record, and then the edit mode at the very end. So let's go back to our build setting. So here you'll see on the very left-hand side the type you want, which is we're going to start with the skeleton. So you got skeleton, rigid body, HM head-mounted display, and probe. So we'll get into some of those later. But let's start with skeleton. So there's a couple different templates you'll notice. Typically, you're going to either want the baseline or the core. Both are fine and will give you the same kind of skeleton traction. They're a little different as to kind of like their specialties and stuff. I prefer baseline. Core is also pretty standard. So I'd recommend either of these to start out. And of course, if you're just trying to get like the top half of the body or the bottom half, you can do baseline upper or baseline lower. And then if you have passive fingers, note the passive fingers and active fingers, this is specifically, that's going to be different than using the Manus gloves, which we might get into a little later. But this is sort of finger tracking using the sensor. Typically, whenever you do this, you want like kind of a smaller marker set that we don't have access to. Like they're a little bit like of like smaller, kind of shiny, like the markers we use. Like there's a smaller version that you would use for the hands. So I don't recommend doing this, but you can definitely try. But just keep in mind that the motion data might be a little messy on the hands if you were to try one of these passive or active fingers situations. But yeah, so we're just going to look at the baseline skeleton, and you can, if you right click, you can turn and rotate and see all the dots. So you'll notice there's two colored dots. There's the white dots and then the kind of purple pink dots. So the white dots are very particular. You want those to be exactly where they're positioned on the body. And then the purple dots are a little bit more flexible based on the individual and kind of the overall kind of location. So kind of, for example, let's take a look at the legs. You see the white dots are right there, a little under where the knee bend is, and that's exactly where you want them to be on your skeleton. Whereas the purple dots there, basically the difference is you want the left leg to be longer and the right leg to be shorter, like the distance between these two markers on each side. So so that's kind of the variation. So they don't have to be exactly right here, etc. But they do have to be kind of there is kind of a rhyme and reason as to where they go, even if it's not 100% precise. But when all else fails, try to put the markers as accurately as possible, even with the purple, and that will like save you some trouble. All right, so let's get to markering. So let me switch over. All right. So now you can see me. I have my marker bags. You're going to need at least probably 41 markers if you're doing the full body, or 50 if you're doing the core. So we'll start with the head and kind of work our way down. So the head, you're going to have two markers on the tip top. One on the sorry, three markers. You're going to have one on the very tip top of your head, and then one facing forward, and then one on the right side of your head. Um, so I'm gonna put that there. And also, if you have another person, sometimes it's helpful to have someone else marker you, especially for the back. I'm by myself, so we're just gonna kind of do it individually. But if you have someone to assist you, that can be very helpful. All right, so we're gonna have the collarbone. So it's just kind of um, right here on the top, very top for the baseline. Something to note is that there are different positionings based on between baseline and core. So this might be a little different if you're using core as to where they go, just to note. But there will be some similarities as well. Okay, so we have these, and then we have one on the chest. So I usually kind of put it kind of right on the zipper part. So like that, and then that's kind of good. And then if you turn the skeleton around, you'll see there's kind of a counterpart on the back right here. Um, so I'm gonna put this one back here. See, I think that's probably good. Can't quite see myself, but let me see. Yeah. All right. Let's see. And then you have like one right under the armpit of both sides. So right here and right here. And then you'll notice like the two purple dots on kind of like the back of your bicep or whatever this, in the back of your arm, your upper arm. So one right there, one right there. Okay. And then you have the underneath the shoulder blades. So where you feel like the shoulder blade bone, that kind of trapezoid triangle. Let me flip the, so like right here, you're gonna want some right there. This one definitely is easier to do with someone else, but I'm gonna do my best to kind of find them. But you kind of want these to be even. I don't know if mine are gonna be totally even because I'm doing this myself. That looks okay. Okay, so that, and then let's do the elbows. So right at the tip of the elbows is gonna be some markers. All right, here, here. And then the gloves each get 3, unless you're trying to do active markers or passive markers, finger tracking. So it's going to be 1 on the thumb side and 2 on the hand side. So we got, let's start with the pinky side. So we're going to put 1 on the wrist right here, and then 1 right above the pinky knuckle, kind of right here, like that. And then on the other side, I like to give, a thumbs up kind of thing, and then you place it right, kind of like around the thumb, kind of where. So that's kind of a way of kind of gauging, right here, here. So cool. And then we'll do the other side. So some things to note about the suit. You're gonna have hat, gloves, and shoes on top of just the pants and shirt. Feel free to wear the suit over your clothes. In fact, I recommend doing so. No need to wear just a suit, especially because they're like shared suits. So we want to make sure that we kind of like keeping that in mind. Okay, so now the hips are probably some of the most important markers. This can really determine things like sometimes like avatar, maybe the legs are flipped. A lot of times that's because the hips are placed in a weird place and it confuses the thing. Another reason why your legs might be flipped when you're calibrating is because you switched which leg is short and which leg is long. So that's another thing to keep in mind. But you're gonna find the person or yourself's hip bones, just like right there for me, and you're gonna place them right on the hip bones where this is really important because it's kind of changes the range of motion, like and that's like kind of your root position is like based on your hips. So these are super important to have in their good spot. Another thing to note is you notice how my shirt is tucked into the pants. So that's also really important. So you want to have these on the pants and the shirt tucked in. If you're putting these on the shirt's going to move around. You want the shirt tucked in. Sometimes if the shirt keeps coming untucked, it's good to use a little bit of, I don't have any Velcro patches, but some Velcro patches, just right here and right here. And that's like pretty standard. Actually, I'm going to grab some because that is pretty standard. So yeah, let me do that while I'm thinking about it. So the equipment room also has these little Velcro patches. So I'm just going to put one right here and one right here. This one actually isn't a Velcro patch. Okay, one right here. Kind of keep the suit from moving, and then I'm gonna put one back here. You put 2, you might put 1. Kind of depends on. So yeah, let me see. I'll actually put 2, just to kind of keep everything in place. Another thing to note, like if you can't get the right suit, or even if you get the right suit size and it's still a bit big or loose, you can use these to kind of wrap around, and we'll kind of like demonstrate this more down the in class. But so like hypothetically, actually let me bend this down because I'm gonna have to for my legs anyway. So like let's say my leg was a little loose, I could like take the Velcro strip and like kind of pinch and like pull it, so that the leg is tighter. This is a good fitting suit for me, so I don't need to do that. But if your suit is a little loose, you can use these little Velcro pieces to kind of help make it a bit more form fitting. All right, so we just did the hip bones, just going back. So if we look at the skeleton, we can see there's also a counterpart right above, like kind of on the other side. So let's do those. So about here, on the other side of your pelvis bone. So, yeah. Okay, so that's not too bad. I think they're a little high, but that should work. Okay, and then we're almost done. So we got, let me rotate the skeleton again so y'all can see. So we got the legs and the feet to finish up, and I think that should be everything after that. All right, so the legs, again, we have the long and short. So keep in mind the avatar, it's kind of, you're not mirroring it. It's like one-to-one. So that means the short leg is going to be this leg on me, because it's like that side of the avatar. So that's just short leg. So I'm just going to make like a short line. And then the long line is going to be my left leg, so like a little longer, like that. See? So this one's a long leg, this is a short leg. Like that. And then I'm going to bend my knees, or you'll have the other person bend their knees, and you kind of put these right around the knee bend, maybe like comme ça. All right, and then, oops, dropped one. So now we're gonna do the ankles. Something to note with the ankles, keep in mind, let me see if I can, I'm gonna have to tilt this down a bit more. Alright, so if you can see, it's kind of hard to see because it's all black, but I have, or here, let me take off the shoe real quick. So you can see I have the little loop, like around my foot, like that, and that's kind of where you put the ankle part on. And then also I guess it's worth showing y'all how to do the shoes. So I actually have two left shoes. I'm just gonna make it work, but ideally your shoe should have the Velcro part on the outside, and then there's like kind of this Velcro flap on the front. So like, let's say you have a shoe. I'm gonna show you how to put it on. You have the strap. All right, yeah, I'll step here. I'm gonna have a strap underneath the heel and the kind of where your arch is. Then you're gonna place the shoe toes in here, and then you wrap that side, and then this kind of just goes over like that. So that's how you put on the shoe. All right, so going back to the markers, I'm gonna put the ankles right here on the leg part of the suit, kind of right where it should be exactly where the little bone is for your ankle, but kind of on the strap of the suit. So I'm gonna do that here and here. And if the strap isn't exactly in the right place or whatever, you can always kind of add a little piece of Velcro there to kind of put it in a better spot. And keep in mind, like shoes situation. So if you're using 220, you don't necessarily want to wear shoes because of the black, the black mats. You shouldn't wear shoes in the black mats. But if you're in the ballroom, you can wear your shoes because it's just like the ground it's fine. So it's kind of up to you whether or not you want to wear your shoes or not. But in this room, if you're wearing, please don't wear your shoes on the black mats. Okay, so now we got the ankles. We got 4 more on each foot. So we got the top of the foot, kind of like where your big toe is, or the top of the shoe is, and then the bottom bits. Oops. I'll try to maneuver so you can see. So like kind of right at the edge of your toes. So like kind of like where your toes meet your feet. You're gonna put the other 2 markers right there, and then you're gonna have 1 more marker back by the heel, like so. All right, so let me do that one more time. Running out of markers. So that. 2 more. Oops. A little higher. All right. So, I believe that should be all the markers. So, like, I'm doing baseline, so I should just have 41 markers once I tuck everything away. So, you want to make sure you kind of tuck the remaining markers somewhere where the cameras can't see. And then I'm going to step into the area, make sure. It says I have 42 markers. Ooh, that's not fun. I'm trying to think if there's anything shiny. Oh, maybe this actually. I'm gonna hide my keys because they're too shiny. Should have made sure. Let's see how we're doing now. Still got 42. Okay, so I think, let me take a look at the calibration because it probably means, let's see, 14. Looks like 14 has something going on. What is that? A light? Let's see. Hold on. You can see, so I'm looking at this white dot right here is picking up. I need to figure out what is that dot? Looks like it's just another camera. So here you can see me right here. Here's 16. You can also see that dot. Let me see. Yeah, so it looks like that light is interfering. I'm gonna switch this back to object mode. You can see it's still like in white. Oops, this side. Let's see. So I think I'm just gonna go back to build. I think we can make this work, even though there is a little bit of interference, which is meaning that there's like an extra marker kind of basically being seen that shouldn't be. But I think the trick to that, if you're noticing something like that, is to select the entire skeleton. So let's go back to where you can see my webcam. So this this part is especially is it's very helpful to have a partner because it's pretty hard to do by yourself. I will say, like I need to get all 41 markers placed so that I can be seen. Also, this is a really bad spot. And I don't think I can actually achieve that with the mouse the way it is. Yeah. All right. So, kind of should have recalibrated the room when I came in. All right. So I'm going to get some assistance, and then I'll be right back. So hang tight real quick. So this is a part where you might need someone's help. Why is Unreal opening? All right, so hang tight. Can I get you to click the create button on the suit for the skeleton?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thanks. You might have to highlight my markers because there's like a marker that isn't masked or something, like one of the lights. So there's like an extra marker. Thank you. Yeah, I'm recording for a tutorial, so all right. So cool. So now I'm in the space. Ideally, you want to be kind of center and forward and in a T pose. And is it all 41? Cool. And good to go. Is everything forward in like the right direction? Like the head's on the right way and all that? Yeah?
You're not like, the head isn't broken.
Okay, so the head's not broken, the feet are on the right way and all that? Yeah, it looks good. Thank you. Cool. appreciate it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Cool. So now I have my skeleton created, and you can see in here, if I go into the space, I look like this. So you can adjust. It's always a good idea to rename your skeleton to something. So I'm just gonna rename it here to my name. It's kind of what I use. Oops. You can also, when you're building a skeleton, you can change the name right here. So ideally, you would change the name before creating it, but it doesn't really matter either way. Works. And then you can also change the color. So yellow, green, blue, whatever you want, really. You can, this is kind of helpful for identifying different talent. If you have multiple ones, you can also do, I like segment versus like the other avatars. You can also just do none, but that's pretty confusing. So I like segment. You can also even add the label, so like that way if it's easier to differentiate beyond just color, if you have like a bunch of dancers or whatever, there's that. But that's pretty much all you need to know for that one. And so yeah, that's how you create. And if your avatar looks weird or whatever, like your head's on backwards, the hips are on wrong, it's best thing to do is just to right-click, delete, and create the skeleton again. So there you go. I hope that answered any questions. But that's how you create an avatar and a skeleton in Motive.